the dungeon where nobody comes in. Their prophets write scriptures, painting bloody pictures, looking for the answers, staring at belly dancers, only in my head. I'm a motherfucking grave digger, rock with the dead, like I do every night. It's another woo banger, keep your game very tight. I might come out and hang you, shadow dancing with a knife, bloody bastard. Grungy, junkie, funk, everyone's guns when I'm depressed. It's that dungeon chamber rap, still stressed, so I got the gat. Chains hang, smoke fill the room, blood cover the walls, in the dark lays doom. Dreams haunt the prisoner, cutting corpses, possessed by unknown forces, past that axe. I'm not a gangster, but I love watching bodies collapse. In the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon.
Lepachronic on the microphone, just hyper. I'm smoking weed, getting keyed off Budweiser. I'm sitting down cause my legs hurt right now. I hear in the background this quiet little sound. Is it real or am I tripping? I don't know. So I reach in my pocket and light another stone. Listening to the genius give his speeches. Evil little creatures defeat General Grievous. Chilling in Paul's dungeon, meditating. Over-legged valley, levitating. Positive pure pressure, penetrating the entire United States nation. Coming from a dark room full of cartoons, lyrically harpooned, dolphins and sharks too. We some hellbillies getting swilly off cheap beer, where we shoot guns for fun and eat deer. When you see the double P, you better keep clear. We'll torture you in the dungeon, lead from the ears.
In the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon. In the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon. You can find me in the dungeon, talking to spirits, casting spells and blasting shells. Ghosts give me my lyrics, people ask where I'm at. Look in the dungeon, I'm sharpening my axe, guts splat, I'm lusting, staring at nothing. Blood gets me excited, we sit on corpse stones, more bones get ripped. Where's that fool that used to rap? He shot himself in the head, but his ass came back. Brain splat, I'm a psycho. I still remember the old days, but now I have a new title. I've been doing what I always do, still suicidal. Spit on my name, hit on my dame. It's so cool, bullets hit your brain. Bring the bodies back, cut them up, string them out. Shotty strapped in the dungeon, I shout. In the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon. In the dungeon, in the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon. In the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon.
Camouflaged out, now I'm incognito. Tearing walls down with rhymes that are evil. Tie you up to a tree covered in honey for the beast. Slaying MCs, floating in the sea. Floating in the Pacific, horrific, more we spitting. Let's go spirits, they got clearance that rot your appearance. Torching eyeballs, batting heads like baseballs. Breaking 5 bones, leave your face gone. Telling scary stories, put a chill in your bones. Sipping on a 40 and getting really stoned. The second story's full of bones and domes. Put them to good use and made me a throne. Bitches be serving me Long Island iced tea, and then my dessert be some wild turkey. Northern Cali high, got me floating in the sky. Rip out your spine, right at the end of the line. Policy and LP, walking down the LV. Now what enemy are we taking? Torture MCs in every which way, and then at the end I'm just gonna eat your brain.
In the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon. In the dungeon, in the dungeon, nobody comes in the dungeon. In the dungeon, in the dungeon, in the dungeon. Dungeon chamber spitting, nobody's living. Watch out for the unforgiven. Dungeon chamber spitting, nobody's living. Watch out for the unforgiven.